Amy, I'll let you take it if you
Oh,
want.
sure. Hey,
Okay.
everybody. Welcome to our August ECO meeting. Today, we didn't really publish an agenda because we are focused 100% on getting our recommendations into the commission. Jared sent out a draft of the recommendations where we left them off after our kind of interim meeting in July. Jared, if you want to pull those up, we can start going through them. I don't know whether you want to open with.
Well, I think the first thing that we need to make sure is that we have a quorum.
Okay.
So that's
Good call.
we have 15 members on. Sorry, if you include the chair, 17 members of this working group. Let me just double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep, 17. So we would need to have 8 members present. So if we can just confirm that.
Okay.
If you're a member, please raise your hand just so we can just get a quick count. And with Jabari and Amy's 5, so we definitely need. We would need more people.
Laura, yeah. So that I was at 7 just right off the bat.
Well, I think that it's safe to assume, because we have a few that have accepted that haven't joined yet, that they will join by the time the voting starts. So I think that we can get started. So I'll share my screen.
You want to shoot those people a reminder, tell them they're needed for the quorum?
I can do that. I'll send
worst case scenario, if we can't get a quorum this time, we can do it via online form like we did last time. We collected the votes.
And a question to you all. I know, Amy, you said you have some problems. It looks like I don't know. It's kind of, yeah. So is it just me and you, or are other people's having some little difficulties? I know mine is like moving slow and acting really weird. I don't know if it's just my end or not.
There may be some service disruptions happening in the region.
Okay.
I can tell you Chesapeake Conservancy's website just went down, but it also just came back up. So I don't know if that's related.
See, there's something weird's going on right now. Let me check the outage detector. Oh, yeah, everything's had a spike. Like everything. Amazon, no, not Verizon, but Amazon, Canva, a bunch of apps have had a spike.
Interesting.
So.
Okay, well, we're all here, and I guess we can mostly see and hear enough. So.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I am your pen, so take it away.
Well, where do we want to start, Jabari?
Well, first I was really going to ask the group, has everyone really had a chance to look this over? I know Jared sent this out. How long ago? Was it a week ago?
I sent it out after last meeting, and then I sent it out a second time, within the last week.
Okay. I think we should go through each one, but I did want to first check to see if anybody already had any questions from what they reviewed. If you've already reviewed it. If not, I think we should probably just go straight into it. I don't know if it's really any need to read it, but out loud, everybody can read. But should we just take maybe a few minutes per recommendation? We have 3 up here, correct? Sure, is it 3 recommendations?
So 1, 2. So this one is still very early form. 1, 2. We have 4 up here currently.
Okay, so we just don't have any context for the first one.
Yeah, so this one that just says recommendation was just a very early idea that we started, but there's no established text at this point.
Okay. All right, I think we should say that one's to the end, Amy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I feel, which ones of these do we think we need to work on? We know we don't have additional context for the first three. Let's try and get the low-hanging fruit done. Climate Education Month.
Yep.
It's been around forever. We should be able to get that edited and wiped off pretty quickly.
Yes. And so I saw one very minor thing I would add to that one. And it's simply, I want to say it's the last sentence. Where it starts, this declaration would provide free online resources. The second to last sentence that's written out where it says we come together to celebrate climate and expand education. I would just add climate awareness, just be more specific about what kind of climate, what about climate we're talking about. That's the only thing I saw on that. That looks pretty good to me. And I think somebody's hand is raised. Is it?
Tristan is, and
Tristan?
then I have a comment too.
Okay.
Go, Tristan.
You can go ahead, Amy. I'm not quite ready for my. I wanted to look something up first. Go ahead.
Okay. My comment was that I wanted to work the teach-in into this, and also I wanted to kind of clarify the free online resources because I don't want them to think that we're expecting MSDE to do that. So we should. I think maybe we can move some of that into the context instead of into the recommendation. But I think in the recommendation itself, we ought to also mention that climate, that the statewide climate teach-in would be, I guess, the beneficiary of this. I don't know. That was my thinking at the moment. Or we put that in additional context. We can also do that. We can put teach-in information into context.
I think it'd be a great idea to go there.
Yeah, I think it should go in with the context.
Okay.
The thing I wanted to look up was the Maryland Education Blueprint to see if we can highlight how this action will support that ongoing effort. And so I just did a really quick Google of Maryland Education Blueprint, climate education, and it's got a whole, several different bullets about how climate education integrates into environmental literacy standards, and it supports educators by offering new connections for them to follow up on. And then at the very bottom, the very last bullet says, Maryland Climate Teach-In. Maryland also has an annual climate teach-in event. And I was like, oh my God, we made it to the bullet summary.
Mhm.
So in summary, the blueprint doesn't have a specific climate education pillar, but the foundation it provides for environmental literacy and the ongoing initiatives at both state and local levels demonstrate a clear commitment to fostering climate-aware and responsible citizens.
And that's part of the, what is it called again, Tristan?
I'm trying to find its formal name. The Blueprint for Maryland's Future.
Okay. And I have a comment also, I think, but I see James has a comment first.
Yeah, I really like this one, but I just had one question, and it may just be a point of semantics, whether this declaration, the second to last sentence, or the last sentence, this declaration provides online resources, and I'm wondering whether that's accurate. I mean, is it the declaration that's providing online resources, or is it the commission that will provide online resources? I think the declaration, provides a special opportunity for state agencies, county and municipal governments and private organizations to come together. But does the declaration provide online resources?
No, and I think that was my comment too, was that we want to say that, through the climate teach-in, that's where they get the free online resources.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. So the climate teach-in provides online resources and a special opportunity for agencies to come together.
Right.
So it's not the declaration, it's the teach-in.
So am I to edit this declaration into the Maryland Climate Teach-In?
No, I'm working, I'm gonna move that. I'm typing it right now, Jared. I'll put it in comments in a minute. I'm moving that into the context. And then, well, so what's happening with the context, Jared? Is
Yeah,
that
so
gonna make it into the report?
No,
Or
no.
what?
So the context is meant for the commission so that if there was additional background that might help, inform their decision, then that context would be provided there. But the annual report would include just purely the recommendation itself.
I do have a comment, but before I even mention that, I see Tristan's first too, but I think we should add the word annual at the top, building on what it says of the annual climate. Actually, it's the climate teaching. It's not climate change teaching. Is
Right,
that
it's
right?
just the climate teaching.
Okay. And I'll wait for Tristan.
I'm gonna defer to you again, Jabbar, or like pass my turn. So you can finish your thought. I feel like my next comment is slightly different topic.
Okay, well, actually, it kind of piggybacks on what you mentioned earlier, and I think it's kind of all the same. And I know that me, Amy, and Jared were in the email with Delegate Stein, and I believe in the context, we should possibly mention how this will support the existing, I guess this might be kind of what you were saying, Tristan, already, the existing environmental literacy standards. And actually, I see 3 of those that were pointed out specifically that uses the word environmental, is it environmental change rather than climate change? I know that's one thing we had discussed, Amy.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering how can we fit that into the context? We already have some environmental literacy standards, but maybe altering that word to climate. Well, I'm sorry. I'm saying 2 different things. I apologize. I think we should probably put that in the context that this will support the existing environmental literacy standards, basically, and we could actually pinpoint which ones we would reference.
Yeah, and I was working that into my text. I can read it out loud because it's very similar to what's on here, but I was gonna say, declaration of a permanent climate education month would support Maryland's blueprint for the future and our environmental literacy standards, offering a special opportunity for state agencies. And then I kind of go through all that. And then I was going to add something at the end, which I'm still noodling on, in conjunction with the annual climate teach-in, educators of all ages would have access to free online resources, and I'm still working on
Okay.
that. What do you think about that? I can put that in the chat
So
the way
far,
it
yes.
is, if others want to weigh in. Jerry can copy. Oh, I'll have to put the second sentence separately because it's cutting me off. Apparently chat has limits.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops, and I missed the I. Oh, I forgot. I didn't fix the top sentence permit.
And I just want to, what we're discussing here, that's the additional context piece, right?
No, I don't know.
So, I mean, I would just, again, this is ECO's recommendations, and I am just the writer, but I would point out that really, this is the recommendation.
Yes.
Everything else is really context.
Well, yes and no. The next sentence is part of the recommendation because we're changing it to Climate Education Month. So we have to
Right.
keep that in the recommendation.
You're right. You're right about this.
That's not context. Yeah.
But I might suggest that we rearrange slightly so that the bottom line is up front.
Yeah, I do too.
And that we don't necessarily need to say that ECO recommends this. We can just say what they should do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Okay, I found the language that I also thought might be good to include. And it's right along the same lines as the blueprint. And I don't know, I think it maybe fits best in context, but I'd sent out those Bay program goals. And I think maybe the school district planning one might be a good connection here. That goal reads, the school district planning outcome: continually increase the number of school districts that have policies and practice in place to support environmental education and sustainable schools. And the target is by 2040, all jurisdictions reach their target number of school districts that are well prepared to deliver a comprehensive approach to environmental literacy. So I think by having my thought process, my train is that by having a designated climate education month, which includes the climate teach-in, which provides a whole bunch of resources and like a, collective come together moment, that will help school districts hopefully feel more prepared in providing having those comprehensive plans. It's something they can count on every year. It's something they can build up to. So if I was going to add any language, I think that it might be something around that this supports environmental education, or is a practice that supports environmental education and sustainable schools, or maybe something about how this helps school districts prepare to deliver a comprehensive approach to climate education. I'm just trying to find language that's like already in use so that we can just.
Could you repeat that again?
merge them all.
Sorry.
Oh, yes. Help school districts. Sorry, I
You
wasn't
wrote
looking at
school
what you were
districts
writing.
prepared to deliver a comprehensive approach to climate education.
There we go.
I
Yes.
typed it as you said it.
Great.
And I think it's really excellent to include. I would again point out that I think that a lot of this is additional context that helps support, but
Yeah.
isn't necessarily critical to the core recommendation.
Mhm.
Yeah, my thought is by offering as much of this like overlapping language that when they read the context, they're really understanding that it's not just, ooh, climate education month, how cute and fluffy. It's really like, we need this.
Exactly.
Do you all think that it would be helpful to call out the Bay program's goals, or like that this is connected to a Bay program goal?
What's a day program?
Oh, the Bay program, the
Oh, the
Chesapeake
Bay
Bay
program.
program.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're reworking the watershed agreement. Maryland is a signature of the Bay program, or the agreement. Actually, our Secretary of Department of Natural Resources is like our rep, is like a, oh gosh, I think he's on the management board. It's like a really high up decision-making body in the Bay program. So like we definitely have full support as far as Maryland goes.
I'm working on the actual recommendation language right now.
Tristan, do you think we need to date that in any way since the goals could change, or?
Yeah, I mean they could change. They're not finalized yet. I would be surprised if they changed a lot, especially some of these environmental literacy ones.
Could I ask Tristan, do you have that language where you can copy and paste that in the chat? Is it too much, or are you able to do that? Or am I-
No, I can grab it.
Okay.
Jared, I just put the reworked recommendation sentence that puts Climate Education Month in there, not as a secondary.
Oops.
And I also mentioned an updated version of FY 2024 House Bill
So
990.
here,
The
this
one thing
second
that's not in there
paragraph,
is the bipartisan support.
this is the updated text that Amy just provided.
Yeah.
Okay. And that would actually be the recommendation.
I think, yeah. So
And I think that that's a little more succinct than I think that a lot of what's in the previous paragraph, I think, is really excellent context.
Mm-hmm.
And do we want to specify that it's Maryland Climate Education Month?
Yes.
yes. Sorry.
And actually, it's really the Maryland Climate Teach-In as well.
Yes, you're right.
So I like that as just a recommendation. And I agree. I think everything else can really kind of go with the additional context.
So just I will take this back and put that here. And then if there's additional context that we'd like to include, then we can certainly do that.
Well, I mean, we can take the first sentence out of it because we've literally rewritten that sentence.
Right.
I'm still working on it. So the school district planning outcome, that's one of the big goals. Okay. So I think we can put that in there.
Yeah, I think anything that shows support of anything existing, like a plan or like the literacy standards, that should probably mention the additional context.
And to Jody's point that these aren't finalized yet, I think that language, that second thing that I put in there is the proposed target. I think as long as we leave out the like by 2040 all jurisdictions part, that like the heart of it is really the same. It's just the like actual measurable numbers might be adjusted once the agreement is finalized, I think.
And the specifics of the context, I think, are less important because those would only be read by the commissioners when they're thinking about these recommendations. So, what would be in the main text certainly would need to be very specifically accurate. I think that, you wouldn't need to super specify in the context.
Right, exactly. That's why I was thinking, I think we leave out the by 2040. I think we just speak to the like, this helps the jurisdictions be prepared, et cetera, et cetera.
So are the bagels the blueprint for the future, or is that something different?
They're separate.
Okay. Who owns the blueprint for the future?
I think it's MSDE.
Okay. I'm rewriting that.
Yes, it's MSDE.
So then that goes along with the Maryland Environmental Literacy Standards then.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so there's the environmental literacy graduation requirement, which has been in place for a long time. Well, a long time. And the blueprint supports that, but they are two separate entities.
All right,
Okay.
hold on. I'm throwing text in the chat. Oh, God, it's too long. All right. I'm throwing the first sentence of the text in chat. Can't believe it. Google cut.
Jared, how often do you get utterly frustrated by the fact we can't just use Google Docs for everybody?
Oh, like every day. I hate that I can't like give people access to the Google Suite. It's so frustrating.
Okay, I
Mhm.
put those in there.
Yeah. And I asked our IT department.
We could have put this doc into the teach-in folder though, and then we all could have gotten access.
That's true, and we know that for next time.
Okay, that's what I wrote.
We'll just change the week to month. That's
Oh,
Mm.
sorry. That's me. Just typing. And I don't know whether we want as additional context, because they all debate this, that changing it to months avoids conflicts with the legislative calendar as well as school testing and
spring
spring
break.
break
Yeah.
calendars.
I think that's a good
We
idea.
need to put that into context.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will write that. Hold on. Okay, put that in chat.
And this would just go
Right,
at the
so-
very end.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty solid. I mean, the
think so.
commission itself shouldn't have a lot of questions about this one. They've only seen it for 3 years in a row.
Exactly.
But it's just
That's
different
true.
enough this time that it isn't.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And also, I'm, we have the commission will pass along its recommendations, but if we're expecting like the governor to do something, I'm sure some of his staffers are going to want to read this context before they sign off on anything.
Yeah. But I don't know if they get the context.
I
'cause
think it's
again,
just the
we're not
commission,
putting the
I think.
context in the report.
Yeah.
If it became enough of a thing that the governor's office was thinking about it, there would be some additional conversations where that context could be provided.
Mm.
Okay.
We do have exactly a quorum, so we could vote to pass this recommendation now, or we could wait until a little later in the meeting. I know that Zachary Carey said he was going to be able to join a little bit later, so he would be an additional vote. But I think we could technically vote now, if that's what the chairs prefer.
I would say go ahead and do it now.
Yeah,
Amy, what do
let's try and
Yeah.
get this one done.
Okay.
Oh, Craig's leaving at 4.
Okay, well then, as long as no one else leaves and Zachary comes in, we maintain quorum.
Okay. So let's do a vote on this one. Are we going to do raising hands?
Yeah, let's do raise hands. So if you do want this to pass, please raise your hand.
I'm trying to look for the emoji. Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah, well, that is all 8 of us.
Yep.
So the recommendation passes.
Good deal.
Awesome. Okay, this next one, this is we had a lot of discussion on this last time, and we really did hone in on this. So this one may not need that much editing. So let's see this, and this was the recommendation that Jennifer submitted to us that we've all worked together to tweak. Okay, here's this full partners.
I might point out that when we in the first sentence say see stakeholders as full partners, I think
Yeah,
it's an abstract concept, and I think that these recommendations, to the greatest extent possible, we should be very direct in our language.
I also think that we say stakeholders twice. It kind of got a little confusing there for me. So I think maybe we can tweak it a little bit. Kristen?
I'm muted. Okay, there we go. I know that the building of the partnership and trust, at least as I remember it, was really like, how do we get the community to trust us? Well, we need to like have that two-way conversation. And I'm just going to be beating my Bay program drum this whole time. So if you feel like, can you stop it? Like, just let me know. But there's a Bay program goal about local leadership, which I thought could kind of fit in here. The language there is to continually increase the knowledge and capacity of local government leaders to empower them to make decisions and implement local actions that support the watershed agreement. Now, like having that two-way street, I don't think is necessarily like meeting that specifically, but I feel like there's something there that like by having that open door opportunity for local groups to give feedback on these plans, maybe there's some place where like education can be happening. I don't know, Jennifer, this is your baby, so I'm just tossing out ideas.
I had a little glitz in connection and I lost you guys and I just came back. So I missed, Tristan, I'm so sorry what it was that you said exactly.
Oh, that's okay. I was saying that I feel like when we talked about this last, it was really like, how do we get local partners, local community folks to really trust and understand what the decisions are being made in the bigger government. And by saying like, okay, you've got to share this and get feedback from the community members. It's opening a two-way conversation. And in the Bay program, there's a local leadership outcome, which increases the capacity and knowledge for local government leaders to make decisions and implement local actions. And I'm wondering if through somehow that two-way conversation, there's like some professional development, there's some avenues of education or communication so that these local leaders can maybe use the plans that are being created at the higher government level as an example, or ways that they can like fit their local stuff under the bigger plan if they know what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, my personal view is that all of those are very good goals that I'd like to see happen. But my concern is that it sounds like it would have a budgetary impact. And if we want things to happen, it tends to have a better chance of happening if there's no fiscal note. So how could we do that in a way that doesn't have a fiscal note?
Yeah, I mean, this one, the language literally just says like increase the knowledge and capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So if there are,
that sounds like professional development. Though.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Some sort of workshops, webinars, professional development.
Yeah, I just put in text that to build local leadership and encourage local outcomes. That's a little gentler. Doesn't necessarily have a price tag associated with it.
Well, it's not necessarily just a local outcome. I would
That's
say
true.
instead of local, I would say inclusive,
Okay, that's good.
maybe.
Inclusive.
Here,
outcomes.
inclusive?
Yep.
Yeah, inclusive.
Yep. I like that.
So are we moving forward with this second set of text?
I'm sorry, is the second sets instead of the first or in addition to this, to the first?
It's missing the by engaging residents all the way through planning and implementation that goes in front of the state. It's
Okay,
missing
so
that whole
this
section.
this section here
Yes,
goes in front of this section here.
yes.
Okay.
And then there's a dash and the is lowercase.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so do we want to keep, do we want to get rid of this prior text?
Not yet.
Okay,
I just need to read through everything. Sorry.
let me zoom in so it's a little easier for you.
Thank you. So maybe I'm micromanaging too much, but when I read the second paragraph, it sounds like the governor and executive agencies are pushing what they're trying to sell at the beginning of the paragraph, whereas the later part of the paragraph is a little more about the partnership. So I don't know if the order should be changed a little bit. So that, because it lists by engaging residents, nonprofit, and that whole list. So maybe you take that whole list of people you're partnering and stick it in the first sentence. So the governor and executive agencies should engage stakeholders statewide, stakeholders including
I think statewide should be before that, but that's okay.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
I just
Sorry,
dropped
just
in
for
the
the-
chat a couple. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jared.
No, I was just going to ask if we're because part of this sentence got moved up. So are we keeping anything in this last sentence? Or-
yes, you would say, this, the partnership.
You could say by engaging you could just
Yeah,
replace
instead
those
of
with
saying by,
stakeholders.
yeah.
You don't need the dash and take the other dash out and just make it a comma.
And instead of saying can, should it be shall?
I don't know. Shall to me feels very forced.
Well, we can go back to can.
I feel like I see where you're going, Jennifer. Like, can is like an option. Like we could.
I know.
we could do
Weaker.
this.
How about will?
I just wanted to add the language that I dropped in the chat are like some ideas that the Bay program had been floating. I don't think that they moved forward with them, but it gives some examples of possible avenues of engagement. So training and education opportunities annually, online publications, or I guess just like that last one, maybe educating
what's-
local governments annually, something.
Sorry, Tristan, where's this?
I just dropped it in the chat.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so these are alternative targets, not language. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but if we wanted to pull some of those examples to stick in here somewhere, that might be. I don't know how specific we want to get.
You're saying that part should be for context, all right, Tristan?
I'm not sure if I feel like it's context. I think it shows different examples of engagement.
This is all one sentence. My goodness.
I was looking at that too. I was gonna let Tristan finish her thought, but I'm thinking that's a run-on. This we might have to cut that up.
It's
Yeah,
not a
no, go for
run-on, but it's way too big of a sentence. It's
Yeah.
because we added all the types of stakeholders in there. It made
There are a
it
few
super long.
things, like for instance, we don't need engagement, including residents. I don't think we need engaging. And then do we need to say scientists and experts? Can we just say experts?
Yes, and additionally, it says to enhance public awareness and trust. But I think it's more than that. It's also it's to gain knowledge, solutions, and to enhance, because the idea is that it's not a one-way street. They want to get ideas from these people they're engaging with.
Okay, that's making it longer, but I'd add that before we shorten it. So in front of enhance,
Sorry, I'm trying to find enhance.
it's the second
second
line, third word.
Yep, there it
from
is.
the
Got
right.
it. Got it. Okay.
So to gain knowledge,
To gain knowledge, comma, solutions.
develop solutions.
Oh, yes, okay.
Develop solutions and enhance public awareness and
Yeah.
trust.
And we have the word to twice.
Yeah. And we need
Two.
to take the word engaging out right above that.
Here. Okay.
Yes. And we
need
take
a
out
Can I
comma after
Can I ask a quick
environmental organization.
wordsmithing question? When we say public awareness, like my first idea with that is like public education. Wondering what we feel the difference between public education and public awareness is, or if there was one.
So I'm putting my PR hat on. And my PR hat is saying, you can build awareness in a lot of ways. Education is one of them.
Okay,
But awareness is a bigger umbrella.
Mhm.
got it.
Okay, so are we now fully moving on with the second set of text and can we move the first?
Yes.
I think so.
And as a subject header, it says building partnership and trust. I would say building partnership, comma, solutions and trust.
Sorry, trying to find the spot again.
At the
Okay,
very,
here,
very top.
you said so. Oh, very
At the
top.
very, very top, it says building partnerships and trust. I would say
That's
building
right, okay.
partnerships, comma, solutions and trust. You could put a period after climate action to start a new sentence on the end of line 3.
That's that. Now but the next,
Yeah, and then we need
that's
to
just a phrase.
fix that all.
There's no subject.
Together, stakeholders will, or
I
What
think
about the
that there's a
last
lot of
sentence could
commas.
be, oh,
Well, just very quickly, Tristan, I think that we have a lot of similar ideas and but the core concept of these, I think, could be cut down into maybe a summary word. You could say diverse stakeholders instead of listing all the stakeholders. You know, just a suggestion that, maybe we could be, more direct in the concept and maybe keep out as much of the list.
I think
don't
we
know.
did that on purpose, though.
I think it's important to list all the stakeholders, actually.
Yeah, it's really easy for other people to then be like, we're just going to leave them out. It's up to us to decide.
And at the last line, second to last line, it says local leadership. I might say diverse instead of local.
Oh, and my wordsmithing suggestion for the last line was just engaging stakeholders from planning, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, like creates creates inclusive outcomes or something like that. We turn it into more, it might be grammatically wildly incorrect.
I would leave, build, and add creates instead of encourage.
Instead of outcomes, do you want to say solutions or
Yeah,
success?
because we had solutions above, didn't we?
Yeah, you could say success.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm.
Or impact. Because an outcome can be a negative outcome. That's why.
Yeah, so can impacts. I mean,
Yeah,
know,
true.
Well, we can always throw in the word positive.
Yes, that's a good idea.
so we could change inclusive to positive outcomes.
Yeah, since we have, yeah.
So we still have this is a very long sentence here.
Do you want to drop the whole thing in ChatGPT and ask it for a suggested edit?
That's what I would have done.
If somebody else wants to do that, and then I can take what
We
they come
can't,
back
we
with.
you
can't
put it
copy it from,
Okay,
in
grab
the
it.
chat.
I can put it in the chat, and then because I'd like to keep my screen up if I can.
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
Doesn't cut it
didn't like the
all.
whole thing. Yep, didn't like the whole thing. All right, planning to implementation.
I'll put it into ChatGPT.
Okay.
And let me put in the rest of it. I guess those data centers are useful for something.
Yep. Let's see if this, I'm just dropping it in. I haven't even looked at it yet.
I'll put it on the screen for everyone.
I made it 5 sentences.
Hmm.
It's a little long. We're aiming to keep to around 3 if we can.
Let me go back to ChatGPT.
Well, okay, but the last sentence where it says by involving stakeholders from planning for implementation,
It's context.
I know. Yeah, I was going to say, couldn't that be considered additional context, really, as opposed to the actual recommendation? I mean, it's valuable, but I think it should be. It could be context. Because you're basically now just explaining how stakeholder involvement will work, but I think that could be considered context. So what do you all think? I don't know.
I would tend to agree with that.
ChatGPT just gave me a shorter version. I'm dropping in.
Okay, I'll remove the previous version and then put in this new one.
Would it be totally distracting if I read it out loud?
No.
See how it flows. Okay.
Go for it.
The governor and state agencies should engage residents, nonprofits, businesses, experts, and environmental groups as full partners in advancing climate solutions. Collaboration can build knowledge, trust, and effective strategies. Key actions include investing in education, hosting inclusive events, showing cost effectiveness, and fostering cross-sector partnerships. Involving stakeholders from planning to implementation will ensure climate action is more effective, equitable, and widely supported. I feel like this new version,
I feel like it cuts a lot out.
well, I also feel like it's really just the first sentence
Yeah.
is the recommendation, and then the rest of it is
Mhm.
Gone.
the context of like why we think this is a recommendation.
Let me go back to ChatGPT again.
Although maybe this last or second to last sentence, the key actions include, like, would that be part of the recommendation? Do we feel confident that the governor and state agencies will know how to engage these groups in the way that we have in mind?
That's a good point. And actually, I think it said key actions could include, to your point. But I do think that could also be considered context.
Speaking from somebody from state government, I don't want to assume that they know that that's what this includes.
Yeah, we've cut it down a lot. But I'm okay.
Is there anything different in what it says though? Like what, it seems to me that the core concept is the same.
It did pare down our list of stakeholders, which we were looking to do.
Yeah, use one of my suggestions. Take it out, scientists. I see.
They said environmental groups.
Mm-hmm. I think we had that initially. Well, we had organizations. Okay.
Yet a shorter version.
I'm gonna jump us back a little bit. The name of this recommendation is building partnership solutions and trust.
Mhm.
I think those words need to be in here somewhere
I
to
don't know,
show
I
that this
feel
is
like
how we're
ChatGPT
addressing it.
pulled it down too much. I'm sorry. I think it's lost some of its power.
Okay.
I really do. I mean,
I think it's a
sometimes ChatGPT is great, sometimes not.
agree. Well, it depends also how you what you instruct it to do. But I do think we're missing that public awareness part. I think that's the main. I think everything else really looks about the same, but we're kind of missing that public awareness portion.
I mean, could it just be another comma in here?
Could be.
Oh, ChatGPT just gave me a new one that I actually really like. I'm just going to drop it in.
Sometimes you have to ask it multiple times. too.
Yeah, the governor and executive agency should actively engage residents, nonprofits, businesses, experts, and environmental groups as partners to shape climate solutions. By gathering stakeholder ideas and investing in education, inclusive events, cost-effective strategies, and cross-sector partnerships, the state can ensure transparent, participatory action that builds trust, diverse leadership, and better outcomes.
I really like that one too.
Yeah, I like that.
Are there any changes to it?
Should we use the word when we talk about education? I mean, we know, but should we just go ahead and use the word climate education?
Sure.
Could you point on which line here? Climate education here. Here it is. Climate. Okay.
I think it's in there twice. I would say participatory. Well, no, that one. I think that one might. But that's fine, actually. Yeah.
And do we feel comfortable pulling back on the prior text?
I think so. Also, just make sure it's partnerships with the S. I think.
Here?
Oh, at the top.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
partnerships. Okay, I
Mhm.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And just keeping an eye on time. This meeting is scheduled till 4:30, and we still have at least one, if not two more recommendations to talk about.
Now, I know we have one member who had to leave at 4.
So
still-
that is, unless Zachary joins, we actually no longer have a quorum.
Remember, we can always do these via like online vote if we have to.
This is
did
true.
it-
We can continue.
Successfully did it last time.
We can continue deliberation and then do the voting over email if necessary.
True.
Do you want to go ahead and capture votes from the people who are here who are on the committee?
We can do that. I'll leave that to the chairs if they want to
Yeah.
do a motion or not.
Sure. I mean, as long as that's not confusing to you, because we're going to end up sending the other ones out to everybody.
I mean, at the very least, this gives us an idea of how people feel in the moment.
Mhm. James, were you voting or are you raising your hand for a question? I guess you're voting, right?
I'm voting.
Okay.
Let's vote.
I said let's go ahead and vote for this. And here we go for this recommendation.
We got 7.
Yep. So, we can, if Zach joins later, we can go back and ask him retroactively and then it would pass.
Well, the other option is if we vote on our own here, we just send the recommendations out to the ones that aren't here.
Right, but did anyone vote against it?
No,
Okay.
but we don't have 8. So
Yes. I mean, everybody that has a voting power voted in favor. So we would just need one more vote to pass this then. But although Jennifer does bring up a good point that people could still vote no,
mhm.
which is
true.
true, but we just would need one yes vote for it to be passable.
Okay.
Maybe when we send it out, or if Zachary comes, I would hate to sway anybody's vote, but maybe we just say like, it's an incomplete vote. We need more people to weigh in.
Sure.
I would hate to say, we've already got 7 yeses.
So, in this additional context piece, Jennifer had provided, a great list here of key actions and a rationale. Is this context that we still want to include?
I don't think that you have space for it in the format that we have.
Yeah, I was thinking that
So it was just for the background for this team.
Okay, thank you.
And it saves you a lot of time.
It does.
It does.
I think we should keep it internally for our own sake, but yeah, this is good.
Okay, then in that case, I'll leave it up for now.
Well, I don't
Um,
necessarily mean on the form, but that's
We can
that's
leave
fine.
that. We can leave that
Okay.
for the form, with just
Okay.
the understanding that when we submit, that won't be included.
Gotcha.
So this is the the next recommendation on the docket.
This was also mine, I will say, because we do have an executive order previously for the subcabinet to work on climate solutions and to meet the Climate Solutions Now Act, but that order is expiring. And so it's just asking them to do it again.
Yeah. I'm solidly behind this one.
I am too.
If it's a reauthorization of an existing effort, is it worth including that?
Yes, because it was not the Climate Commission that did this, it was an executive order. And by the way, the executive order didn't have them reporting publicly on the stuff. So it is different in that regard, and that we're asking for a report out.
I think I misphrased myself. I meant to say, should we include that the reason why this is
Oh.
being put forward is because of that?
We could add that as additional context.
Sure.
You could call it should issue an updated
Yeah.
executive order
Okay. Issue
or a
and-
renewed. I just say a renewed.
When I'm almost wondering whether we should put, because we're saying annually later, does the executive, this is government ease, so you all have to talk to me about this. In an executive order, does it last longer than a year? Because, we have to do these proclamations every year. I don't know.
The proclamation is annual.
Okay.
It would depend on the executive order whether or not the timeline was specified. I would need to check on that. I don't know if anyone knows.
Okay.
Jennifer, you seem to have some insider knowledge here on the status of that,
I wish.
or at least on the timeline. You
I
suggest
don't
that.
know. I don't
Well,
know.
Let's just look at that real quick.
As far as I know, executive orders are indefinite unless, like you said, there's a timeline specified. We have executive orders
Exactly.
from our department that dictate policy, and then if we need to revise, we have to do a new executive order.
So let's
Well,
just
the
look at
previous
these.
executive order asked for them to submit a plan, but it did not ask them to update the plans or renew the plans. So they did a plan before, but now the world has changed.
Okay. Okay, so we do, by saying annually seek, that does satisfy that.
And the earlier executive order did not ask them to put climate awareness and messaging into their public facing communications. This is new.
Yeah.
Beautiful in my view.
Well, for that particular sentence, could we just end it at public facing communications, and then the advertising websites and social media could be a part of the additional context?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it being in here. I really don't. I think the additional context is just to say that the original executive order was a one-time climate implementation plan. There was with no reporting on progress, or contingency for changing conditions. I mean, we have had a major funding condition change in our state. All those climate plans really need to be looked at again, to figure out how they're going to work.
Do you have an additional suggested language with this context? The additional executive order mandated CIPs as a one-time report from agencies. What else do you want to
With no one-time, how about a one-time plan from agencies with no reporting of progress? or reevaluation for changing conditions. This recommendation adds additional public outreach, not outreach, that's not the right word. Public information, public,
Transparency is
transparency. Yeah, good one. There you go. Like it.
Do we have any other suggestions for this recommendation?
I think that one's pretty clean.
No, I saw Donald, you just joined. Were you here previously, Donald, and had to rejoin? We just want to make sure that,
No.
want to see how that counts towards our quorum here.
No, I was just able to join in the last several minutes.
That's great news. That means we have a quorum again.
Glad
Should we go back and get Donald's vote on the previous one?
We can do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
we
no,
could.
seriously, that would be enough.
Yeah.
But let's
So just whatever we ask,
Stay here
Donald,
for
just
now.
say yes. I'm playing.
You just got recorded saying
These
that,
are recorded.
I know, right?
These are
That's what I was
recorded,
I'm just playing. I'm playing.
If there are no additional suggestions, do we want to move this to a vote?
I say we do.
I say we do. All right. Raise your
Those in
hand.
favor, raise your hands, please.
Wait, sorry, are we voting on this one or the last?
This one.
This
This
current one.
Okay,
Yes. And there's
There
our
we
8.
go. Now
Wonderful.
we have 8.
Okay, this recommendation passes.
All right.
I think
I'm
we
so
should have,
thankful.
I think we should have to vote on whether Donald can vote. No, I'm just kidding.
Can you show Donald what was on the screen before so he can vote
Yeah,
on
yeah, so I'm going
or
back to
that
that
we can
now.
have a quorum?
Yep,
we're
so-
crushing it. I gotta say, I'm so proud of us.
Yeah.
So we already voted this one and passed it in, but this is the one that needs the additional vote. So we'll just, I think that it makes sense just to redo the vote altogether instead of just
Okay.
asking Donald to
Yeah.
raise his hand or not.
Okay.
Yep, raise your hands. So we have 7 raised currently. I don't know if we have, is there a holdout? Okay, who are we missing that isn't raising their hand here?
Jim. Got you.
Although he did previously vote for this.
He did previously go for
I think that we can consider that
that. Okay.
enough. Yeah, I'm not,
Alright.
Jim, are you here?
He may have just
I think he
jumped.
just, yeah, I think he just
I
left.
think
Okay,
he
well
just
then
jumped
we'll
off.
just consider that as he had already voted on it. Okay, then that gives us 3 recommendations.
Oh, he
That-
voted. He's back and he voted.
Oh, all right.
Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah. So that means that the Climate Education Month, the continuous improvement and accountability in climate change, and I'm sorry, in climate action, and
Yep.
building partnership solutions and trust have all passed. There was a 4th recommendation that was very much, just the very start of it before we had to end our meeting last time. We have 20 minutes left in this meeting. Do we want to tackle that 4th recommendation? That didn't, I don't know if we had a super fleshed out idea. I really only remember that it was put out at the last second.
Yeah, I just remember Laura tossing this one out. Like, do we want a recommendation
That's right.
around these things? And I don't think we really even had anything more. It was just,
And I
we're
don't
not
think she's
including these
here.
concepts anywhere.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
I
think
mean, if
she's
she
here.
was on the call, I think we'd have a better chance of flushing this out because it was really her thought process. But
Mm-hmm.
But given what was already passed, it's a little redundant because I think the climate week covers a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the climate
Yeah,
month.
Right.
we don't specifically call out stewardship or green careers, but we
Yeah.
hit climate literacy.
Yeah, I think that recommendation will cover, you will automatically kind of advance green careers anyway.
I mean, do we want to retroactively
So-
introduce that language into any of the recommendations that we've already passed?
Or do we want to retroactively add it to the context, which wouldn't require another vote?
Yes,
That's
that'll be my
true.
recommendation. Which will go under
Because
the climate education month.
Yeah, and I think
Mhm.
advancing green careers and supporting stewardship makes sense. We just need to edit it so that
Yeah, so here's the
it
sentence.
sounds
I
right.
wonder, okay, guys, this is just a pre-planning for our teach-in. I wonder if we make sure some of our resources are specifically for green careers and stewardship related activities.
Good.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we could. I think that's something we could discuss once we start those meetings back up.
Yeah, we haven't come up
Also,
with a
For the
plan for this year
two
yet.
things. I remember.
Mm.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Amy. What was that?
No, I was just saying we haven't come up with a plan for this year. We always come up with a couple of goals that we focus on, and maybe one of the goals this time would be advancing green careers.
We could take out climate literacy. I think we mentioned that. So
Yeah.
just advancing green careers. Yeah.
I wanted to call out the green career specifically because when ARWG, one of the other work groups, they created some sort of blueprint for their work, and there was something about like no net job loss and like retraining folks, and that touched on how like different ways they were gonna train people in their careers. And then also I know that, oh shoot, what's the group that Cindy's leading, Jared?
Well, I think you're referring to the Just Transition Working Group, but that working group is
Thank
no
you.
longer
Yes.
active.
Right. So they're not making any recommendations. Is that
That's correct.
okay? And sorry, real quick, can you remind me why they're done?
So at the last commission meeting, the secretary announced that the 4 working groups created by the Climate Solutions Now Act, which includes the Energy Resilience and Efficiency Working Group, the Energy Industry Revitalization Working Group, the Just Transition Working Group, and the Solar Photovoltaic Working Group, those 4 had completed their statutory mandates in the form of their studies, and that they would be placed on pause until reconvened by the commission.
Okay, interesting. I'm wondering. Okay, anyway, my little sense of justice is like, well, I'm sure they would have had recommendations. I would want to know what their recommendations around green careers would have been if there was a way we can incorporate that. But I think that might take more time than we have. Or like what their studies showed around career education advancement.
The study is available on the website if you'd like to check it out. I can put it in the chat.
Okay, thanks, Jerry.
So that James had his hand raised.
It might have been from the vote. James, do you have a question? I see your hands raised. I'm not sure if that was from the vote previously or not.
I think it was. Sorry about that. We're good.
Okay, no problem.
Well, we have about 20 minutes left in the meeting.
Oh, 13 minutes.
Sorry, 13 minutes. You're right. I added, I was actually rounding down. I added an extra 10 in my head by accident. Thought we were, anyway, so how do we want to proceed with the rest of our time here?
Well, we still need to open it up for public comment. I would like to just kind of make a little statement for the record that we didn't use ChatGPT to develop any recommendations, only Wordsmith. Just to make sure that's pretty clear, that we only used it to help Wordsmith recommendations that had been previously developed. Should we open it up for public comment?
I think we should at this point. All right. Do we have anyone from the public who has any comments?
On any of these recommendations or anything else? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So next steps, Jared, are to enter these into the form.
Yes. So the recommendations are due to the commission via the Google form on September 4th. Obviously, we're ahead of the game here. If there needed to be more time to maybe add additional context before you submit it, that's perfectly fine. If there are any changes to the recommendations themselves, that would require a vote. For the context piece, I think that's a little more free because that wouldn't actually end up in the annual report. I think that the next step is just submission, and then we will have submitted a recommendation successfully.
Okay. Do you
Awesome.
need Jabari or I to submit that form? And
No, I can submit it to
You can do
myself.
it? Okay.
That's fine. Just I need confirmation from the two of you that no changes will be made to the context or anything before I do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, congratulations, everyone. You did it.
Great job, team.
I have a question. Are
Yes.
there future scheduled meetings that should now be canceled, or were we done?
No, our meetings keep going because as soon as this is done, we roll right into the teaching.
Yep.
we can't take any months off. So our next meeting is in October, and
let me get
we'll
the date
be
for you.
launching the teaching planning work at that point, setting goals, and just looking back at our lessons learned and things like that.
Yep. Our next
Yeah,
meeting is
normally we have
October
a,
16th.
16th. Okay.
Yeah.
Normally we have a separate subcommittee that handles the planning for the teaching.
Mhm.
And again, just like last time, we're soliciting any volunteers, anyone who's not already a member of the committee. If you were, you're still going to be on it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, if you would like to join us, please let either myself, Amy, or Jared know.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a huge time commitment. We have lots of different things that need to be done, and some are bigger commitments than others, but some are very small but still very impactful.
Right.
In these last 10 minutes, do we want to try to set up a date for that initial meeting so that when I share this list of recommendations out with the full group, that I can include in that email that if you would like to attend that first planning meeting, here's the date?
Sure.
Previously, we done it on Fridays at about 10 o'clock.
Yep. That still works for me.
Yep.
So when do you want to have the first one of those?
Do you want to shoot for the 17th? That's actually the day after the eco meeting.
That's what I was thinking.
October
not?
17th?
Yeah.
Okay. Certainly. Okay, then I'll put that on our calendars. I'll make sure that, everyone here has invites, and I will also include that information in the email out, which will include these recommendations.
Okay.
All right.
Very successful. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
I'm really happy with our recommendations this year, and I loved this approach. This worked very well this year. We should do it very similarly next year.
Absolutely.
Really, really well done. So thank you, everyone.
Less stress. Mhm. All right. Any other comments before we go? Anybody else?
No.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you
you very
all.
much.
Thank you all.
Thanks very much for leadership. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.